Alright, that's enough memeing around on my part, is it? Well, where's the button? Where's the button? Oh, there's a button. Oh, I found the button. I did it. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday? I've lost track of the days of the week this week because it's been busy. Not bad, but not busy in a bad way, but busy in a way I'm not used to. But that's okay. Life is good. I've been working out the past week. I did my weekly weigh-in today. I am down 5 pounds just from this past week alone. So you know what? We keep that up, we're going to be looking pretty good here in a couple months. But in the meantime, I want to get back to Upwards Rain because honestly, it was a charming little game, and well, I just didn't feel right not finishing on Tuesday. Like, a lot happened on Tuesday that didn't go as planned, so for my own mental health and happiness, I kind of decided to take a little easier that day, but it just didn't sit right with me with not finishing it that day, so I kind of want to come back today to kind of wrap this sucker up, you know? Yeah, you know. But yeah, just as a friendly reminder, this game did come out very, very recently. Because of how recently it came out, I will put a lovely little link to the Steam page if I can figure out where I put that. There it is. So let me type up a little message really quick to set up a pin. Go, and then we pin that sucker. Boom. Boom. I'm learning how Twitch works. Are y'all proud of me? But regardless, we are kind of part of the way through the game, so if it's as Gil said, since they're lurking, if this is something you kind of want to play yourself at some point, or it might be on your radar, now's the time to abandon ship, because we're in it. Why do people always try to call me when I start stream? I appreciate them reaching out, but it's always when I'm streaming. Or doing something. Oh well. Either way though, I'm gonna stop being around the bush. Which one was it? It was this one. Okay.
It has to be.
I guess just a quick synopsis too. Basically, we're trying to find this lovely girl, Mila's letter that apparently doesn't exist. But we're certain it does. So we're going to literally the forbidden reaches of the post office to find them.
That's not right, though.
What's not right?
Huh?
Also, game seems a little quiet. Hold on. Maybe just turn up a smidgen. I mean, this should be fine. Everyone's volume seems okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy.
Look, the door handles. We don't have those anywhere else in here. They're hard to use with our wings.
Oh, now that you mention it, the front of the post office is the same way.
Thank you, Stream Ellens, for announcing the start of stream nearly a full 10 minutes after start.
Either way, it looks like we can still push it from this side. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, on 3.
That looks kind of like the entrance of some kind of mad scientist wacky laboratory. The two girls push and push and push until the aging wall of the door begins to creak in protest. Slowly but eventually, the hinges give way, offering Rain and Mila the victory as the door opens and the two take their first steps inside.
Whoa.
The Undeliverables, Repentance Roost. Though not as bright as the lower floors, a scattering of lamps and lanterns are a welcome reprieve from the darkness they had just finished navigating. The room they serve to light, however, is much less comforting. With the bare floor and no furniture save the tables or the lamps to sit upon, the undeliverables would make for the most unremarkable room in the entirety of the tree's endless trunk. Save for two very important aspects. Oh. You can see the stars. The room's incredibly tall ceiling, reaching so high as to be all but immune to the numerous light sources, and the wall of outgoing boxes that measures its grandiose heights. Grandois? I never knew how to pronounce that word. Is it grandiose? Grandiose? Grandois? Because I can see the S being silent. I don't know, that's always a word that's confused me.
Dandy's letter is somewhere in here?
It's in space.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Let's start looking in the bottom rows. Kale always tells me to sort lowest to highest, so I don't have to waste my energy flying as much.
Okay, but, how will we know which one is Dandy's?
Maybe we can just empty all the boxes for now and make a pile of letters? It might be easier if you can look at them all at once.
Messing up the order of things will definitely get you in trouble, though.
Oh, let me peep one thing. Sorry, I'm checking something because I had a particular raid target in mind today. I want to make sure they're still going alive, actually. Because I know they haven't been feeling the best, so... Nothing to say that suggests they won't, so... we should be good to ball. But anyway, back to the game. Oh, that's not the game.
If we get caught now, I'm gonna get in trouble no matter what. We should probably still hurry, though.
Eager to find their prize, Rain quickly makes her way to one end of the wall and begins her search, with Mila following close behind. Man, maybe it's like, after reading everything in, like, from Olive's perspective yesterday, it feels so weird just reading everything from a third-person perspective again. With every box she passes, however, her energy wanes and heart sinks. Empty. Empty. Empty.
What?
Didn't Miss Neve say that there were letters that she couldn't figure out? There should be something, even if it isn't Dandy's, right?
True. I can't... It might not be that common an occurrence, might be the thing.
Yeah. So, why isn't there...
Maybe they emptied the room after a while, which would probably mean...
It's gone.
Oh.
Oh no! Rain? What's wrong?
I'm sorry. I really thought it'd be...
It's okay.
No, it isn't!
Oh, poor little creature.
It is.
Why aren't you sad about this?
I am sad, but maybe it's better like this.
Huh?
I was was really scared that we wouldn't find it, because that would mean Dandy didn't feel strong enough about me to leave anything. But if they just get rid of the letters eventually, then we don't know if it was ever here or not. If we don't know for sure, then I can just keep pretending that she did.
Oh, that's not healthy, though. You shouldn't live in denial like that.
Don't say that.
But more than that, I'm sad because you're sad. You did so much for me. You don't deserve to feel like this.
That is sweet. I mean, yeah, Rain did go pretty far out of her way for essentially a stranger, which is honestly very sweet.
I really want to cry too. But I feel like I can't if you already are. So please stop crying, Rain.
Rain isn't sure if she feels better, but attempts to refocus herself with a couple deep exhales regardless. She wipes away her remaining tears, staining her wing.
We should probably leave before Kale shows up.
Yeah.
If your aim was to avoid me, you'd done well to keep your feet to the earth and wings in your cloak.
Mother?
Hey!
Oh. Hi there.
Or, barring that, closing the door behind you so the light doesn't escape. Your lack of basic etiquette has proven your downfall, just as I warned you multiple times it would.
Kale! How is she always able to sneak up on me? Please wait. I can explain.
I very much doubt that, but feel free to try. Let's start with an easy inquiry. Why aren't you attending to the front desk right now?
Oh, she does like a little head turn like an owl. That's a cute little detail.
Well, there's...
Afterwards, we can discuss the missing hat from our ground floor storage. Coincidentally, the same hat that was assigned to you last year.
Well, technically that was me's...
Or, if you prefer, we can put that aside for now and discuss the mess that was made on the path up here. Alternatively, we can skip to whatever excuse you could possibly have for bringing a guest of the post this far up with nary a concern for their safety, to this specific room where you are nowhere near the appropriate clearance to even dream of holding access.
Damn, girl, you're laying it on kind of thick.
She's not a guest. She's a courier. Look at her uniform.
Rain, don't insult your boss's intelligence. That's how you get fired.
Please.
Half round unflinching, Kale lifts her wings to the air. Her wingspan makes the girls feel smaller than they already are, but the sensation is only compounded upon when Kale brings her wings down with a terrifying force. A gust is released that effortlessly blows Mila's cloak and barding loose, with a couple poor lamps falling victim as well.
Enough of this, Rain.
It was my fault. Please don't be mad at her.
Kale shifts her eyes to Mila, holding them on her for what feels like an eternity to the girl, before eventually shifting the rest of her body as well.
I don't think I've had the pleasure, miss.
She doesn't...
Kale raises a wing once more, bidding Rain silence.
My name is Mila. My best friend. Well, I'm expecting expecting a letter from her. But Rain is my other best friend, and all she did was try to help me find it. So please get angry with me instead.
Mila.
All guests of Mortem Post are to be treated with the utmost respect. I'm afraid, however, that I cannot honor your request. This is a place of work. There are rules, traditions, expectations, countless examples, nearly all of which Rain has managed to break within a short window of a few hours. I'll unfortunately have to inform any guardians you may have of your presence here today, but rest assured that you'll still be welcome to the post with open wings in the future, miss.
Oof.
As for you, Rain, I doubt I need to tell you that there will be severe consequences for your little adventure today. As per protocol, the postmaster will be informed of every last detail.
Oh, Kale isn't even at the top of the chain. The way, like, Rain was kind of building her up, it felt like Kale was, like, the boss, but I guess there's someone even higher than she is up there. Also, honestly, I respect professionalism, because, like, yeah, like, I get where Mila's coming from, trying to, like, take the blame, but it is, like, ultimately... Mila's kind of detached from the workplace, and yeah, any like consequences Kale might inflict on her would be, well, basically harassing a customer, essentially. Which, yeah, I mean, I get it. It stings in a few ways, but I get it. That's how you stay professional.
I doubt Mila's mom will ever let her come back here. And even if she did, I'm sure whatever punishment I get will make sure we can't see each other again. This is it. My time with Mila is over. I understand. I don't care if you want me to polish the floors every single day for the rest of my life, or if I'm stuck on the front desk forever. Even if you asked me to leave the post office, I would. Rain! I promise I'm telling the truth. You won't have to worry about me, no matter what. But before that, can I ask you something?
That depends entirely upon the question.
Even if we never get to talk again, I can still leave Mila with something. A clue to keep chasing after to find Dandelion's message. She may not be able to get to it right now, but I know she'll be able to find it someday. Maybe Big Sis would even be able to help. Where do the deliveries go after they leave this place? I know there should be at least a few things here, but all of the boxes are empty.
I could see you're not answering that question, but let's see.
Well, that's a curious piece of knowledge you found for yourself. Am I to assume you at least know the general purpose of this department?
I think so.
Very well. This is a lesson you ought to learn sooner rather than later, at any case. You're operating on two incorrect assumptions, however. Allow me to clarify before continuing. 1. Not all of the boxes are empty.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can't feel like this is it's like I said earlier, I feel like this can't be a common occurrence that they can't find stuff they can't deliver. Can't look upwards in the darkness. She stays unmoving for several minutes, leaving Rain and Mila uneasy and uncertain. At long last, however, the topmost box on the far left begins to emit a faint glow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rain counts Kale's wing beats as she prepares to take off, her mentor bending her knees with every flap. On 6, she takes flight. The girl is watching in amazement as Kale speeds through the air, skillfully slowing herself as she approaches the ceiling. At the apex of her ascent, all that's visible for her from the floor is when the glow illuminates. She floats expertly to the ground, letter and wing. With just as much finesse, she opens the lip of the envelope with the sign of a feather.
Hey, you can't just...
Like she had before, Kale again raises a wing to rain, demanding her silence as she quietly reads the contents of the letter to herself. Her eyes suddenly shift back and forth, absorbing every written word to memory with precision and care. As she does, the intensity of the shine continues to increase, forcing Mila and Rain to look away. And in an instant, the light is gone. When Rain turns her head back, Kale stands there, empty-winged, with only the faintest of glimmers escaping her grasp before disappearing to nothing.
2. No delivery ever leaves this room.
Where did...
What happened to that letter just now?
Miss, have you been taught about the cycle of magic yet?
Lore? I love lore.
Huh? Me? Our food and clothes have it, right? And it has something to do with the letters?
A good enough foundation. For the sake of being thorough, allow me to walk you through the rest. All of us, outside of you Seaborn, are born with at least some amount of magic. The Earthfoot people are special, with them having and generating a much larger quantity. As such, they imbue their creations, meals or clothing with excess magic. By wearing or consuming these, we take their magic into ourselves. Said magic is a subtle thing. In truth, its only practical function is to lengthen our lifespans as far as they can reasonably go. It's not infinite, however. When someone passes on, whether through natural causes or otherwise, that magic remaining within has to go somewhere. And for reasons we have yet to uncover ourselves, that location is the top of this tree.
Ah, so magic travels upwards.
And the magic turns into letters?
Oh, okay, so magic's kind of like heat. It like travels upwards.
Or rarely a package, but yes. Thoughts, feelings, unfinished business, imprinted directly onto the soul, made manifest in our humble mortem post.
I think I see where this is going.
Does that mean if you don't have a lot of magic, you won't get to send any letters?
Seaborn usually only get one, but the other races can send multiple before the last of their magic dissipates. We have records of a few Earthfoot who sent down well over 100 deliveries.
Damn, imagine going your entire life only be able to like ever send out one letter. I mean, I guess you got it right, but I mean, yeah, I guess I just, because I always like felt like someone was kind of off with how letters kind of generated. These are not ordinary letters, are they?
Magic is an impatient thing, however, and it isn't keen to wait. If we fail to do our duty and deliver these messages to their intended recipients on time, well, you have first-hand experience with that now.
So the magic can kind of wear off, so to speak.
Why don't they just disappear after they get delivered?
Good question, and one without a satisfying answer. Our best guess is that delivery is bound to its recipient in some way. Once a letter or package reaches its intended destination, it's able to maintain a tangible form.
I wonder if it kind of like, because Kale kind of mentioned how like every living thing has some level of magic to them. I wonder if it's like, it like kind of like binds to that individual's magic in some way. I'm just like thinking aloud here. I don't know if that's true or not, but maybe.
In any case, I apologize for the long-winded explanation. I hope you'll see that it was necessary to fully answer the question at hand, however.
So, I couldn't even give Mila another thread to pull at? I'm so sorry.
That letter you just read, is there any chance it could have been from my friend? Her name was Dandelion, but I called her Dandy. Also, you spell my name like...
My sincerest apologies, miss. The contents of the message are strictly confidential. I can assure you that nothing in it implied that it would have been for you at least.
No, that's understandable. You can't go around sharing other people's information.
Oh.
So long as your friend has imprinted the appropriate information, you needn't worry. The delivery doesn't expire for a full 3 weeks after it is initially left in our care. A more than sufficient amount of time for it to go through our system.
Oh, but it has been 3 weeks. Today is 3 weeks on the dot, actually. All Mila can offer is a gasp and a small, sad nod. Ooh, yeah, judging from their expressions, that's not lost on those two either. It has been 3 weeks.
3 weeks? Then... this is just so frustrating! Everything we did, and we're just gonna end like this? Without even a tiny bit of good news for Mila? And we're probably never gonna see each other again? And Kale's just standing there like nothing's wrong or even weird, and talking about following rules or whatever, while breaking just as many as me.
I mean... I don't know, because here's the thing, I don't really know the hierarchy here, because... Like, clearly, like, Kale's kind of, like, high up on the ladder, so to speak. Like, not the top, but definitely up there. And, I don't know, like, I feel like if you're, like, in that position, you are kind of allowed to, like, impart what knowledge you want to or need to others if it comes down to it. So it might not necessarily even be her breaking the rules, but... Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one.
Why were you even reading it anyway? Not opening mail that doesn't belong to you
Oh, that's
is
what
the
she
very
means.
first thing we're taught. Did you forget? In sorting top to bottom, you say we start at the bottom and that it's just to not stress your wings, even though I think it's easier to remember. You always get so mad at me whenever I start from the top, but you get to do it with a much bigger set of boxes? And treating our guests with respect. If the letter wasn't important, we wouldn't have come all this way. And you're just gonna pretend that doesn't matter? If we respected our guests, we wouldn't need to break the rules to help them.
Rain.
Have you gotten it out of your system? Are you satisfied?
No! But what else can I say? At least when Neve bullies me, it feels like she still likes me. You're just evil.
I don't know, like... Yeah, I don't know. Let's see how this plays out.
Evil, am I? And who are you to place that judgment on me? This room operates on a different set of rules than the rest of the post office. I'll have you know I performed my duties to the letter. Surely you noticed how difficult the journey was to reach this department. How even if you could simply fly up by yourself, you tire long before making it here. Or even the size of the door, and how you must have struggled to push it open. These were deliberate choices made by the first generation of couriers. Sorting from the top two was a specific instruction left behind. These three things all serve an identical purpose.
I don't think I understand.
It's to exhaust and fatigue the head of the undeliverables department.
Huh?
What? Why would the post office do something like that?
Yeah, I don't... That doesn't make sense.
As I've told you countless times before, we have what I consider to be the most important job in the world. We have a duty to every person in Vitae, alive and otherwise, to deliver the final words of those who have left us. To fail in this duty is unforgivable, and so it is the responsibility of this department, my responsibility, to shoulder the weight of our office's sins.
That seems a little... It seems like a bit of a toxic workplace environment, naturally. There's just kind of a sign like, one person gotta take the forefront of, like, all the mistakes and things they can't handle. Like, that seems like anything but good.
That's horrible.
Rules like that shouldn't ever exist. What good does hurting ourselves do for anyone?
On that point, you, myself, and everyone else who currently knows of the department can agree, but the traditions of the post are sacred. And so, every time a delivery becomes impossible, I make the trip. In the rare case where two appear at the same time, I make it twice, each getting the proper attention it deserves.
Okay, so yeah, it does seem like it is a rare occurrence. Because she definitely kind of implies that it's like, usually only happens like one letter at a time.
And 3 weeks later, when it is time for these people to die their second deaths, I return to hear their whispers. For no one deserves their final thoughts to go unheard.
I want to say something, but I don't know what.
All the while, far below on the ground floor, I push, aiming for perfection in myself and those around me. So children like you can grow up and remain proud of your home, hoping you never need learn of this room nor inherit my title. If that makes me a villain, then I shall gladly clip my wings and fall to the deepest depths when my time comes.
Kale, I'm...
Out of questions, I should hope. Very good. I've still some business to attend to. I would appreciate it greatly if you two were to step outside in the meantime. I'll arrange an escort party to see you safely to the bottom.
No longer willing to allow the conversation or chance to continue, Kale turns her back on the girls. Rain is caught in stasis. I'm not able to think a single thought or move a single step. It's faint, but the sensation of the feathers on her wings being stroked breaks her from her trance. She looks down, finding Mila's hand.
I think we should go, Rain.
Yeah.
The two make for the exit. For the exit. Arms intertwined. The fear of falling never once crosses Mila's mind in the stage of this room. But the act has become habitual after their time together. Neither pull away when they realize how silly it is.
I'm sorry. I took us as far as I could. Maybe if we were just a little faster?
You did so much more for me than I thought anyone ever would. I'm sorry too. I've gotten you in so much trouble.
Rain shakes her head, a single feather falling to the floor as she does so.
We shouldn't be talking like this. We may not see each other for a while. So we should say some nicer things instead so we can leave on a happier note. Thank you for all the fun today, Mila. When you called me your other best friend, you made me so
Aw.
happy. I'm really glad you came by the post office today.
Thank you too, for believing in Dandy all the way until the end. I don't know how long Mom will be upset, and I also don't know what kind of punishment they're gonna give you. But even if we have to wait until we're grown-ups to see each other, I'll keep reminding myself of you, so we can be friends again.
Aw.
I can't cry if she's gonna cry too. Keep it together, Rain. Yeah, me too. We'll both probably have a lot of fun stories to share by then. So maybe the wait won't be all that bad.
Warren Post is a special part of the village of Vade. A place where people are offered the chance to say goodbye one final time. Today, however, Rain and Mila choose to part with a promise to see each other again, no matter how long it may take. So as they prepare to make their leave of the undeliverables, they say their farewells for now, knowing it won't be forever. A glow. Faint, more a suggestion of light than anything else, but enough to make his presence known all the same. Rain stops in place, trying to find its source, her companion following her lead and doing the same. And there, in the top row, second from the left, the small cubby gently shines, its glow already beginning to intensify.
Another one?
As Rain utters her whisper, Kale notices the light as well. As she did before, she bends her knees. One wing beat.
3 weeks. 3 weeks! But even if it was, it'd be impossible to tell in time.
2.
No delivery ever leaves this room. Kale's accepted that as how things have to be. But
3.
if I'm right, and we can prove it before Kale opens it, maybe Mila and I can perform a miracle.
Perform a miracle? Oh. Okay.
Mila, I need you to trust me, okay?
Huh? What's going on?
Hold on to me as tight as you can. Tighter than that if you're able to.
Ooh, okay. Mila considers her friend's request, eyes darting around as she tries to piece together Rain's plan in the midst of the urgency she's being presented with. It doesn't take too long for things to click.
All the way up there? I can't!
Trust me.
Please, you have to be there too. I promise we'll be back on the ground in no time. Dandelion too.
Although hesitation initially overtakes her, Mila steals her resolve with a firm nod. Aw, both of them. Throwing her arms around Rain's dress and clenching her fists tighter than she ever has before, Mila holds on tight.
Thank you, Mila. Let's give it all we got.
Upwards. Four. In that same instant, Rain throws her wings to the air, then downwards with every bit of strength she can afford to muster, knowing a swift takeoff would be her only chance of outspeeding Gale. A moment later, the two are airborne. Rain sights out on her guiding light.
Don't you dare!
5. Though swift, Rain is far from subtle in her first moments of flight. She can't afford to look down, though. Every microsecond of advantage over her mentor, a priceless treasure.
Reach out for it when we get close. Don't be scared.
Okay!
The boss continues to shine, growing brighter and brighter every passing moment. Rain grits her teeth, putting everything into each flap of her wings. The strain pairs with the additional weight, driving her to exhaustion far quicker than she ever had before. 6. Rain lost count of Kale's wing beats prior to now, but her heart begins to race as she hears her take off, going so fast as to sound like she's cutting through the air. Rain hurts all over. She shuts her eyes to drive the pain away. The light above now so radiant as it pierces her eyelids regardless. Higher and higher, brighter and brighter. Close in her own world, but still bombarded with countless sensations, all begging her to stop. Higher and higher, brighter and brighter. Even with eyes slammed shut, the light still overwhelms. Rain's vision is that of nearly pure white, and still it only continues to intensify. But until suddenly it's gone. Rain's eyes shoot open, disoriented and confused. Her head swivels down to check on her friend, heart beating out of her chest. Mila isn't holding a letter. Oh, Kale got there first. Oh, never mind. In her free hand, she clutches a small parcel. Though its metallic orange wrapping may glimmer in the distant light of the room's lanterns, its radiant glow has faded. An indescribable relief washes over Rain. They're journeying together at long last, finally finding its happy ending.
We...
As Rain allows herself to let her guard down with her job finally done, her muscles relax and the immeasurable exhaustion she put herself through over the flight catches up to her all in an instant. The world goes black once again, and the two begin to fall. Oh. Oh. It's a little dandelion. Dandelion. As Rain comes to, she finds herself still mid-flight, though not due to her own wings.
You're awake!
Kale probably caught him.
No sudden movement. We're almost there. Keep holding on to her, miss.
She and Mila lie on the back of Kale, wings outstretched and cloak out as tightly as her wings can grip, forming a makeshift net. It's unstable, but good enough to provide a small sense of safety as they float gently to the bottom. The soreness around her body is nigh overpowering, but the feeling of one of Mila's arms holding her close feels even stronger, almost managing to dampen the pain. True to Kale's promise, the three eventually make their landing. Kale kneels down, allowing for the girls an easier disembark. Mila falls first, eager to have something beneath her feet again. Rain follows soon after, though her landing is considerably more wobbly. Afraid from the additional weight, Kale stands upright once more and turns to face her previous passengers.
Lie down if you need to, Rain.
Thank you. I'm okay, though. I think.
Kale shifts her focus to Mila, only to find the seaborn girl offering up her parcel.
I'm sorry. I don't want you to get in trouble either, Miss Kale. If you need to look at it first, then...
If only for a split second, the tiniest trace of a smile finds its way to Kale's lips. Those quickly dispelled with a shake of her head.
It's not my mail to open, miss.
Aw. The energy in the room shifts as Mila pulls the package back down. Nary a sound echoes through the room, save for the gentle flicker of flame. Mila visibly shakes as she takes her first tug of the twine. The adrenaline of her flight intermingling with her nerves as the two couriers watch intently. Time moves slow, agonizingly so, as the string eventually gives way and she begins to carefully peel back the glimmering orange wrapping. Finally opening the box, Mila releases a small gasp. She scoops one hand aside to grasp its contents, allowing the box to fall to the floor with a quiet thud, masked by the crinkling of the wrapping paper. In her hand rests a small knapsack, made with the same material as Mila's vest.
Dandy's bandana.
Oh. Tears begin to well in Mila's eyes, satisfied just by the gift's wrapping rather than its contents.
Keep going. Keep going.
Mila, reminded that there was still yet more to go, responds with a nod. Though her hands shake even more intensely than before, she pulls at the cloth with as much care as she can muster. At last, the fabric comes loose, covering Mila's hand as it falls. Rain and Kale share a confused look. Mila's reaction is much more severe, with her trembling worsening and her tears quickly escalating to sobs. Oh, it's a little creature. A small plush mouse, smelling faintly of mint. Mint is a very good scent, especially like freshly chopped mint. I love the smell of mint.
Her favorite.
Oh. Mila instinctively tightens her grip on Dandelion's gift as a flood of emotions escape her body. The two Kalekind watch in silence, trying to piece the puzzle in front of them together. Kale's the first makes some form of realization, bringing a wing to her chin.
Miss, is it possible by any chance that your friend never knew how to write?
Oh. Mila hears a question, but can't even begin to form a word. Thankfully, Kayla is able to intuit the answer all the same.
I see. So that's the way of things.
Wait. Huh?
Kale's question proves just enough to give Rain the extra help she needs to reach the truth.
So, Mila's best friend, who she did everything with. But I've never heard of anything like this happening before.
Oh, it was a cat. Here I thought she didn't know how to write, but okay, that explains so much because yeah, a cat wouldn't know how to write, or that would also explain why Neve didn't know of a person in town named Dandelion, because Neve only dealt with people. Oh, that's a cute little. God damn it.
Kale just told us it isn't possible. Only people have magic, and you need that to send mail. Dandelion would have had to... Ah!
The final piece slides neatly into place. Intentional or no, little Dandelion was given the gift of a tiny amount of magic, courtesy of the Earthfoot's magic embedded cloth craft and Mila's mother's handiwork. And when the time finally came for Dandelion to make proper use of that gift, she knew in her heart what she wanted to do. Though she was certain Mila would be sad, Dandelion had the words that tell her how much she meant to her. So instead, her final act was a familiar one. Sharing her favorite toy with her favorite person, hoping to once again bring a smile to her face. Mila brings the plush close to her chest, holding onto it as if it were at risk of flying away. Goddamn fucking... Okay. I'm okay. Grief, love, joy, loss. Mila's tears are aimless and show no signs of slowing. She chokes as she catches her breath and rain spots are opening. She closes in on her dearest friend, wrapping her wings around her in the closest a gale can manage to a hug. For the first time ever, the two are comfortable enough to cry together.
I'm deeply sorry for the severe clerical error our office has made and the trouble it has caused you. Nevertheless, it fills me with an abundance of joy to see your parcel safely delivered. I'll see to it that you make it to the ground floor whenever you're ready.
The head of the undeliverables readies for the door, though turns back briefly to address her subordinate.
Unfortunately, I can't go against protocol. I'll still need to report this incident to your grandmother.
I don't think she's paying attention. Ray doesn't respond, nor does Kale wait for her to. Whatever may come of this will be an issue Ray can handle tomorrow. But for now, all that matters is this moment. She manages to smile as her tears continue to fall.
You did it, Mila! We did it!
Thank you, Rain! Thank you, thank you, thank you! I owe you more thank yous than I could ever give!
How about one more, and we'll call it even?
Okay. One more.
Mila takes a moment, trying to hold back her tears just long enough to make this last thank you special.
Thank you, Rain. And farewell, Dandelion.
Oh, don't.
Morning sun, chirp of birds, a gentle breeze. A letter, no name or place, but meant for you all the same. Rain, sleet, or snow, count on me, we'll find it atop the tree. Hail won't scare us, wing in hand, in wing. A ring of the bell, the front desk can wait for a while. Trust me, way up here, wrapped in a rainbow of words, thoughts, wishes, and dreams. Yours can't be for now. Feather in my cap. Put one in yours too, from me to you. Don't look down now, fly with me. Take a step and you can soar to greater and greater heights. Onwards, upwards. Setting sun, silent skies, a bygone breeze. Apart, so no name or place, but meant for you all the same. Her final message, oh so real, and back where it's always belonged. Signed with a stamp and a smile. Farewell till we meet again.
Man. I would say that the cat made me cry. Like, I was able to get through Millie having, like, a heart-to-heart with her parents yesterday and, like, kind of pulled through okay. And then the cat made me cry. I wasn't ready for the double emotional gut punch 2 days in a row. Oh, excuse me, I'm trying not to, like, sniffle in the mic. Far from the hustle and bustle of the capital of Alchemica lies a small coastal village by the name of Vitae. In the mornings, those who live near Earth residents are awoken by the scent of fresh bread being baked and cloth being spun, magic imbued within every creation. Throughout the day, Seaborn work tirelessly, the hammering of nails and sawing of wood being telltale signs of their presence. Though few in number, you can seemingly find one just about anywhere you go. As the sun sinks low, the spark bounds make themselves known, the quiet humming of their device serving as a familiar ambience as well as a promise that tomorrow will awaken to... Sorry, I'm like... I'll be transparent. Like, during the whole credit sequence, I was kind of bawling my eyes out, holding back where I was. I'm still not, like, fully recovered from that. A promise that tomorrow will awaken to some new manner of convenience or innovation. The weather will last till the following sunset is always an uncertainty. However, in the far eastern outskirts of the village, there lies a place that has proven to be unusually noisy today, with a small crowd of residents and couriers alike engaging in a small talk about around one stage. At the base of a gargantuan tree, climbing so high into the heavens that the clouds hide its canopy from view, lies Morton Post. A modest little post office that Galekind called their home, and a small ceremony is scheduled to take place today. Gale stayed true to her word. Rain's grandmother, the postmaster, was informed of her granddaughter's exploits down to the last detail. How she immediately shirked her duty, leaving the front office almost as soon as she was to start her shift. How she brought in a guest in the inner workings of the post office entirely unauthorized, and how she coerced said guest into digging through the layers of others. How she put the guest through unimaginable danger, climbing the heights of the tree that not even many couriers reach. Miu's mother was told much the same. They were also told of Rain's unbending determination to do right by Mila, stopping at nothing to help a guest in need, going above and beyond what any courier could ever be expected to. Now, despite the danger, she treated her with the utmost care and attention, measuring her step for step and always putting Mila's welfare in front of her own. How she performed a miracle and became the first courier in Morton Post's long history to deliver an undeliverable. The crowd hushes itself to a whisper, eventually falling to silence as Rain and her grandmother take to the stage. Rain reaches into her cloak, retrieving a simple envelope and passing it to her grandmother. The postmaster opens the lip, revealing the small, vertical stamp held inside. With all the care someone at her age can manage, she gently peels the back off. She ushers her Rain to bow slightly, and Rain obliges. She carefully finds a spot on her granddaughter's hat and pushes the stamp firmly onto it. When Rain lifts her head, she is officially recognized as a one-stamp courier.
Hey, Belly!
Aww.
Hey, Belly!
Hey, Belly, go.
Crowd offers mass applause,
Hey,
with her numerous coworkers being notably louder than the rest. Even if she doesn't make much noise, Rain's proud supporter stands front and center, smiling as wide as she's able. Rain meets her eyes and returns with a grin of her own. On its surface, this post office offers the opportunity for loved ones to say their final farewells, giving those who still walk with us the strength to keep pushing on. However, Morton Post doesn't assist in the severing of connections. Instead, it stands a testament to how unbreakable the bonds between us truly are, able to transcend the border of the before and after. A celebration for all who hold the love for others in their hearts. A place Rain is proud to call her home, and one Mila is forever thankful to. All extra Zimmon locked in the main menu. Oh. Man, I'm a little sad I didn't finish this on Tuesday, because there really wasn't a lot left I had to do, but man, that was cute. Like, it started very chaotic, but like, I get the message that was kind of leaned towards the end, you know? Because, yeah, death isn't really like the end of things. It's, I think, rather than like kind of look at it as like a finality, it's kind of like there to look at like a continuation of things, because we never really kind of realize how like even like the smallest life might touch us and how that might mean. Because like looking back on it, I kind of remember Rain being all sad because not Rain, Mila. Wow, I got them reversed. But Mila was just like very sad because her mom was like very like, you know, insistent of like, no, Dandelion won't leave you a message. And now it kind of sucks. It's like more in logic, right? Because Mila's mom was probably like, no, a cat doesn't have magic. A cat can't do that. Which is why she was so like insistent on it. But even despite that, like, it was just kind of one of those things where the cat kind of, you know, that love was still real. You know, like, even if it's just like a small little animal, like, you can still feel that love for something or someone. And it's very real because you never really can put like value on the lives that we touch or lives that touch ours, you know? Anyway, that's enough sappiness on me. Let's look at the extras, eh? Okay, so there are achievements I didn't get, it looks like. Oh, right. There's these. And then there's records. Oh, yeah, so this is like more lore stuff. Oh, you know, it's been a shorter stream so far. I can probably... Let's go over the stories. Alright. The rookie's reason. The delivery is a mundane one. A simple package arriving from Alchemica for a local farmhand. Rain pushes across the counter and its recipient receives it gladly. He offers his thanks and Rain offers a chirpy no problem in return. With his package in hand, the Vitae citizen makes his leave. The bell above the door putting a fine point on the pleasant, if uneventful exchange. Kale's eyes narrow.
Must we have this discussion every single day?
Huh?
Rain tumbles back as her mentor makes herself known from an oft-neglected corner of the office, usually occupied only by excess supplies and an old broom. Kale never considered herself particularly stealthy, but catching Rain unaware has been a regular occurrence since her training had begun just a couple short months ago.
What did I do wrong this time? I thought that went pretty okay.
To begin, the post exists to serve our community, and those who visit us are always to be treated as honored guests. As such, we greet them warmly and professionally.
I did that.
Hi, ya, isn't a welcome that aligns with our expected etiquette.
I mean, maybe not, but like for some people that kind of puts them at ease, you know? Like, so not everyone, sometimes formality kind of makes people uncomfy.
I was just trying to be nice to him.
Exactly.
And on that point, when thanked for your services, you always respond with a simple "you're welcome" or a small bow. Every single time, Rain.
No problem, and you're welcome basically mean the same thing, though.
Basically, is another word Rain would benefit from removing from her vocabulary, Kale muses to herself.
If you wish, we can move on to the faults in which you cannot argue semantics then. You forgot to wish him well as he left.
Oh, I guess I did. But I won't forget again.
Just like how you didn't forget to write his name and the time in which he picked up his delivery, I'm to imagine?
This question visibly shocks Rain, the feathers on her head stiffening as the realization hits her. Manners are one thing, but the consequences of a delivery not leaving the system appropriately holds much more dire consequences. She about faces, eyes locked on her objective. The little courier scurries over, reaching for the still open inkwell. Thunk. A dull, unceremonious sound. Mute and barely audible, but enough to petrify poor Rain. The apprentice examiner watches the day's records drown in deep, dark ink, with excess slowly dripping to the wood floor below. Oh no.
Well,
That's unfortunate. Waiting for Kale's admonishment, Rain curls into herself trying to hide her tears. She does an admirable job at first, but doesn't take long for her frustration to boil over and cries to intensify.
I don't want to do this anymore!
Kale's expression remains unchanging in front of the trainee, though she does offer the slightest tilt of her head.
when an incident occurs, it is on us couriers to.
I'm not gonna be a courier! There's too much to remember, and I can't do any of it right anyway!
Kale had mentored new couriers before and all had their difficulties. Rain is an exception. She has had a harder time than most, to be sure, but Kale wasn't as eager as Rain to consider her a lost cause.
On your feet. Follow close behind.
As Kale turns, Rain looks up at her, neck craning up at her towering mentor.
But I'm not.
We'll see. In the meantime, with me. I'll have someone else attend to the mess, so you needn't worry.
The two walk together, into the living spaces and then up a flight. When in Rain's room on the bottom level, she has yet to step foot up here, but it's a route Kale knows by heart.
I won't deny that our responsibilities are many, and to be overwhelmed is unfortunately to be expected from time to time, but our work is...
Of the most importance, and our station requires no less. I know.
I see you've no problems in memorizing that. In any case, if you're set on abandoning the title of courier, I won't get in your way. Before you turn in your uniform, however, I'd like to show you something.
The two stop before a doorway. The room within hidden behind a simple why am I fumbling on that word? Purple cloth.
The beauty I find in our work, and what drives me to continue.
Kale pushes back the curtain, beckoning Rain in. What awaits her is a room not unlike her own, with all the usual staples such as a nest, dresser, and desk. The most notable difference, and the one Kale herself brings attention to as she joins Rain, is a large bookcase filled to the point of near bursting with various bound pages and folders. The courier ponders her collection, moving to select one, then second-guessing and placing it back where she had retrieved it from. Eventually, she settles from near the top and offers it to her guest. Evidently, Rain accepts the book. She looks to Kale for further instruction, but finding none, timidly opens it to no page in particular.
What's this?
My stamp collection, or part of it, in any case.
Oh, is this where she got her love for stamps?
Wow.
The girl eyes over the numerous stamps lining the pages. The frustration that once overcame her expression being replaced with wonder and intrigue at the countless colorful designs.
Modern Post's primary job is to deliver the letters that fall from the top of the tree. But if you'll allow me a small admission, it's the deliveries we make among the living, with their simple white envelopes, that intrigue me the most.
So, you like working because of stamps?
Though we deal with countless deliveries, us couriers don't often receive mail. Even with our work taking us into the village or our occasional guest, our occupation can be a lonely one. These stamps are as strong a connection to the world as any written word, however. Little bits of personality on each envelope, taken from a nigh infinite pool of expression. As time moves on, you begin to notice shifts. Colors come and go in their popularity. Some shapes begin to be used more than others. Designs fluctuate between literal and figurative imagery.
To prove her point, Kale leans down and turns a few pages for Rain. Despite only the tiniest passage of time, the stamps look nothing like the ones she had just been admiring.
I see each one as a window into the hearts of our neighbors. Watching from the side as the tides of their whims ebb and flow brings me a certain calmness during even our busiest days.
She turns to her bookshelf again, eyes down at its lowest level.
My duties also have me involved in the approval process of new designs. The bottom shelf is dedicated to archives of submissions from prior cycles. Some may never make it to print, but there's beauty in their immediacy, I find.
Any lingering speck of distress leaves Rain at Kale's remarks.
People can just draw them? If I made one, could it get printed too?
If it was striking enough and of our expected standard.
Rain thinks on Kale's response, taking one final glance at the page with stamps before closing the book and offering it back to her mentor, which she accepts.
I want to start a stamp collection too! And, I also want to keep being a courier.
Look at that happy face. How can you say no to that?
Full glad am I to hear that.
She files the book away once more onto the shelf before retrieving a folder tucked away on the leftmost side of the same row.
Here are the duplicates I decide to hold on to for one reason or another. Feel free to take one to begin with. If you're able to find improvement in your work, you can expect more from me after the fact, should you wish.
Kale's apprentice excitedly grabs at the folder, ruffling through it and closely examining any loose stamp she manages to pull out of the pockets. It takes a few tries, but one eventually catches her eye.
Oh, I love this one!
Kale feels her eyebrows raise in an involuntary act, and she works quick to correct the slip of her expression.
Are you sure? Vertical stamps have never been especially popular, and even when it was fresh to the print, it rarely saw actual use.
I'm super sure! Thank you! I'm gonna go put it safe in my room right now. If that's okay, I mean.
As soon as her mentor replies with a nod, Rain hastily shoves the folder into her wings before bolting out the room as quickly as her little legs can take her. Kale lets loose a sigh. While Rain's enthusiasm can be counted as a victory, it also means more work awaited her on the morrow. While she absentmindedly returns to the folder, she catches a glimpse of a book on the bottom shelf that gives her a moment's pause. Design submissions, dated roughly 15 cycles ago. She leans down to retrieve it, already flipping through the pages as she stands up once more. On an unnumbered page, she stops. A vertical design of a never-ending series of stairs, climbing upwards to the sky and even further into newfound heights. While the paper is fragile and yellowed, she's still to make out her name at the bottom, faded though it may be. Oh. Wait, it gave me the achievement for reading all the short stories, but I only read one. I should probably mention that. But, let's see. Yeah, let's check
Can
this
you
one.
help, Mom?
The Seaborn's Lie.
Of course, dear. Come here.
It was a familiar part of the morning routine for the both of them at this point. Emil always struggled with tying her vest, and her mother was always happy to offer her assistance. And so she did, taking the two ends of string into her hands as her daughter approached.
Any plans for the day?
Mila briefly opens her mouth to answer, but decides better of it, and offers a simple shrug instead. She was going to the post office again today, just as she had done every day for the past 3 weeks. one over the other and then through.
Well, if your schedule is empty, how about we visit the Bell House together? I hear they've gotten a shipment of new fabric in from Alchemica. Your birthday will be here before you know it, so we could ask them to hold on to.
No, thank you.
Oh. Make a loop, then another.
How do you feel about going to see your cousins then? I hear that Rosales took his first steps the other day. I'm sure they wouldn't mind us dropping in on short notice.
No, Mom, she's distracted by the letter situation at this point in time.
I don't really want to today.
Tug tightly, and then you're done. Her work completed, Mila's mother brings her hands down and into her lap with a sigh.
Are you thinking about Dandelion again, sweetie?
Hook, line, and sinker. Mila averts her eyes, revealing her answer without the need for words.
I miss her a lot too. Do you want to talk about it some more? Is there anything else I can do to help?
Talking about it again would just hurt more. To Mila, there isn't much point in trying anymore. She would bring up the letter and Mom would apologize, but tell her that it wouldn't be coming, just as she had done so many times before. As Mila plays out the conversation to herself in her head, her mother brings her hands up once again, gently grabbing hold of Mila's arms and giving them a gentle squeeze.
We can't keep bothering the couriers, okay? They've got important work to do.
I wasn't going to the post office. I wanted to go play down by the beach and collect some seashells. The weather's nice out.
Man, you can really hear how she forced the answer out too. As like Gil said last night, the voice acting in these games is too good. Her mother stares at her daughter in silence, just long enough to make Mila believe that she had managed to see through her lie. That concern is dampened, however, as she gives Mila's arms an affirming shake before pulling back from her daughter with a smile.
That sounds like fun. Be back before the sun comes down, okay? Love you.
Okay. I love you too.
Mila takes a step back and then another. She pivots on her heel towards the door, all too eager to break eye contact with her mother in this moment.
Mila?
She makes it as far as having her hand on the doorknob before her mother calls out for her again. She forces herself to turn back to listen, but avoids her mother's gaze as much as she's possible.
Keep to the shallows, okay? And make sure you stay in the shade. Even with the clouds out, you'll still get sunburned if you aren't careful. Oh, also, I know you said you were going to collect seashells, but don't pick up anything from the tide pools. You never know if you're accidentally picking up a crab or some other kind of critter or...
But the crabs are the best part. You can just crunch into them and it's... Oh, I love crab.
Okay. I'll be careful. I promise. I love you again.
The door opens and closes before her mother has time to process the response. The muffled sounds of the wind chimes out front serving as proof of Mila's haste. All too soon, however, the chimes fade and Mila's mother finds herself alone in her silent home. Her small sigh only breaks the quiet. Mila keeps one foot in front of the other, trying her best to keep her pace measured as she walks along Vitae's streets. After the spattering of buildings gives way to fields of green, however, she quickens. From a walk, to a jog, to a run to a sprint. Green distance from her home and the lie she told to escape it. Tears are quick to form, and it's not long before Mila is forced to stop, finding it nigh impossible to breathe between her run and choking on her sobs. Get out of your system, Mila, she thinks to herself. You can't go to the post office like this. Her legs are already sore and her heart already hurts. If you tries to collect herself, she brings herself to an ultimatum. She doesn't want to do this again. She doesn't want to lie to her mom or keep bothering the couriers or avoid having fun anymore. If Dandelion's letter isn't there today, she won't come back. With one more deep breath, she regains her composure. Eyes set on the towering tree. Aww. Poor girl. A botanist's invitation. The tree can whisper, so long as you listen. Rain hasn't slept a wink. It's not for a lack of trying or want. To the contrary, yesterday's events exhausted the poor courier to the point of near collapse. Yet rest doesn't come when she closes her eyes. Not when the sun already hangs at its highest in the sky, and she has yet to hear from her grandmother or Kale about the consequences of her journey. About if she'd get to see Mila again. She stands outside the post, eyes cast on Vate. The inside of the post, usually familiar and comforting, is suffocating her today. The fresh afternoon breeze feels nice on her feathers, but does little to calm her nerves.
Rain? What a surprise it is to see you out here.
Hey there. Rain jumps in surprise. The voice from above taking from her the isolation she sought for herself. Craning her neck, she finds its source perched upon one of the tree's lowest branches.
Oh, hi, Mizore.
Join me, won't you? I could do with some company.
Rain hesitates, looking up briefly to the village once more. Mizore is another she has spent the day avoiding, but those efforts have now gone to waste. Sounds safe for the flapping of her wings, she lifts off. When she lands beside Mizore, the guilt round her face becomes all the more noticeable. But Mizore doesn't seem to notice.
Good afternoon. Did you get enough rest last night? Be honest, you won't trick me again so soon.
I'm sorry for lying to you, Mizore.
Rain's apology barely seems to register. Mizore nonchalantly trimming away at the excess leafage of their shared branch as they begin their reply.
Well, if you manage to pull the wool over Neve's eyes, clever as she is, who am I to be upset about being fooled? Fair game, I'd say.
That's a good sport. That's a good homie right there.
Oh, okay.
The discussion ends as quickly as it began. Mizore hums a tune to themselves as they continue tending to the branch, while Rain watches on in silence. Time continues on as it is prone to do. Mizore eventually stands. After 1 or 100 wing beats, Rain couldn't say. Amelia spots her next to do above them.
Up we go! Should you still be willing, of course.
For lack of an excuse to return to the ground, Rain nods. Together the two fly up, 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 to another branch, unlike the one they had just occupied. As Mizore gets to work, Rain shifts. Once seeking quiet, she now struggles to find comfort in it. A thought had crossed her mind while watching Mizore moments ago, and Rain decides that's as good a means to break the silence as any.
Is our tree sick?
Oh, no, nothing of the sort. You'd struggle to find many living things stronger than her, I imagine.
But you're out here all the time.
Indeed I am. A courier's work is never done, and all that.
So, it's fine. But it still needs your help?
That's not quite right either, I'm afraid.
Mizore glances back to their conversation partner, her confusion obvious.
Care to hear a story? I can't promise it'll be all that interesting, but it may do to pass the time.
Okay, if you wanna.
I love stories. That's what I've been doing on my streams for the past 3 days. Mizore's smile holds fast. turning their attention back to the branch in their care.
Not many post offices attend to their tree's exterior. You'd be surprised to learn that some few even look down upon the act, as if it were an insult to imply that their trees are incapable of caring for themselves.
But
Not to say they can't, of course. Nature itself would have to truly focus all of its efforts into creating a wound or disease so grievous that our eternal trees would struggle to recover. As a matter of fact, our little post office shared much the same mindset. Up until 4, 5, I'm not as meticulous with remembering our history as I should be, generations ago.
Really? That wasn't super long ago, though. At least compared to some of the other things Kale and Grandma have told me.
Every word! Now, around that time, there was a courier, one stamp upon her hat. She was a dedicated worker. Though her daily duties were rather mundane ones, her schedule wouldn't have been that different from yours, like as not.
I mean, everyone starts on equal footing.
During a fairly typical round of deliveries out in the village, she happened to deliver a letter to an Earthfoot botanist who'd been attending to their plants. The two struck up a conversation about, well, botany and its benefits, obviously. She borrowed a pair of hedge trimmers, unwieldy though they were in her talons, and hid them in some nearby bushes. That night, when her coworkers slept, she began her work.
She must have gotten in so much trouble.
Missouri chuckles at the thought as Rain leans in, becoming more invested by the word.
I'd say so. You can only imagine the other couriers waking up to the sight of her taking a set of sharp blades to their beloved home. Confronted for her actions, it became apparent that her reasoning was sound. She still held the tree in great regard, and indeed, it was from that which spurred her to act. This tree gives us couriers a home and a purpose both. It's no exaggeration to say we owe it plenty. This act, she argued, was us giving back in a small way, easing what little burdens we can so it doesn't have to itself.
They take a step back, shading their clippers back into its holster as they admire their work.
And now here we are, with botany considered a worthwhile enough endeavor to be an official station within the post. You'd be surprised at how malleable our rules can be when one attempts to bend them with the proper motive in mind, regardless of what Kale may try and claim.
That's cute. That's him, like, basically trying, or them trying to, like, kind of allay Rain's concerns at this stage, I feel. Because they know Rain technically broke a lot of rules, but I think it's also them saying, like, hey kid, your heart was in the right spot. For the first time today, Rain lets slip a smile.
She did get in trouble, though, right?
If her punishment was notable in the slightest, I've yet to hear of it.
I get why you're so busy all the time now, though. Even if there's a good reason, I bet you get tired a lot, flying up and down so much.
It's definitely not my favorite part of the job. It can get a little lonely sometimes too, admittedly. But the work does have its perks.
The botanist leans low, bringing their mouth to Rain's ear and their voice to a whisper.
Oftentimes, the tree speaks to me.
Oh my god, they're the Lorax. Rain's eyes widen at the revelation. The second secret hidden within the tree she's learned of in just as many days.
Huh? It can do that?
Only when the conditions are right.
Zora glances up at the sun briefly to check its location in the sky, then down below. They count the branches beneath the two, silently mouthing the numbers as they do so.
Which should be around now, if you'd like to try listening.
Really? You think she'd want to talk to me?
There's no harm in trying. Approach the trunk and stay as silent as can be. It may be faint, but if she has anything to say, you'll hear it before long.
Rain nods, shimmying across the branch. She presses her head to the tree and closes her eyes, focusing as hard as she's able to hear the faintest whisper. That, like, face Missouri is making in the background. I wonder if they're pranking her as payback. takes several moments, but sure enough, something begins to come through. It's muffled and some of the words are lost to her, but it's there nonetheless.
And we'll be reassigning your route to another courier tomorrow.
Oh no, Missouri, you've been listening in on other people's conversations this whole time, haven't you?
Yeah? Got something else that needs doing?
As you know, I spoke with her mother today. She's insistent on meeting the courier that helped her daughter find her missing package.
Uh-huh.
It's a request we've no reason to not honor. I can trust you to watch after her, I assume.
Rain's heart flutters as she starts to realize just what she's listening to. A conversation more exciting than any talking tree could ever hope to be.
Well, did she see fit to impart any wisdom on you?
She said a lot of things, actually. Thank you, Missouri.
Never a problem. I've still got some work to do, and I don't want to bore you more than I already have. I doubt anyone would fault you for taking a midday nap if you're out of other business to attend to today.
Rain yawns at the mere mention of the word. When her mouth closes, her smile is wider than it was before.
Yeah, a nap sounds good.
Damn it, a nap does sound good. But not yet. We got 2 more little stories to get through. Here's Apology. A punch she should have acted on. The sun has already begun its slumber by the time Neve and Mila take their first steps out of Mortem Post and begin their trek back to the village. The sea breeze is a refreshing change of pace for the two. Mila especially, unused as most seaborn are to spend an entire day within the inner workings of a tree. As for Neve, she was all too eager to escape the post office for the night as well, leaping at the opportunity to escort their esteemed guest home. Word travels fast amongst couriers, and the entirety of the post was abuzz at the notion of an undeliverable finding its recipient not long after Kale made touchdown on the ground floor. A major crisis for her co-workers and the postmaster to handle. She checked in on Rain in the morning, but as for the here and now...
Are you doing okay, Mila? It's been a long day.
After going several seconds without an answer, Neve glances down at the girl to see if her question had even registered. Mila's eyes had moved from the parcel in her hands, carefully preserved as best she was able. Even the glimmering wrapping was still comfortably resting beneath the twine, since leaving the office, save for when she and Rain said their goodbyes.
Is Rain still going to get in trouble?
Not an answer to her question, but a response all the same. A small victory that Neve was willing to accept.
I'm sure she'll be fine. And even if she ends up in some hot water, I'll work some of my magic. Don't you worry.
Less of a victory as Neve originally thought, perhaps. Is it any wonder, Neve thinks to herself, other things little Mila heard her say about Dandelion just hours before? The two continue their journey in silence, neither truly acknowledging the other's presence. The thought at least occurs to Neve to try, at least. But every time she finds herself approaching that bridge, she backs away just as quickly. So they walk, step after step, until the dirt roads beneath them give way to the familiar cobblestone streets of the day.
You two really had me fooled.
It's not much, not anything of substance, really. Both the village signaling the end of their journey together soon come into a close, and the courier finally speaks up. If only to add to the quiet chatter of the various sparkbound going about their daily tasks now that the sun had set.
To think you were sneaking around my office and I was none the wiser. You and Droplet must have felt pretty crafty after that little plan of your...
Miss Neve, how did you know Dandy's package would be up in the undeliverables?
Oh, asking the real questions. Neve's pace begins to slow, going to a full stop ere long. There are layers of truth to any potential answer she may give, and she struggles to decide how deep to dig in her response.
Hey, that Cafe Dan Seafoam should be open for a little longer, I believe. We should grab you and your mom some dinner before we get back.
I don't think you're gonna be able to deflect from this one here really quick.
Huh? Oh, you don't have to.
I stand corrected.
I know your mom well enough to assume she hasn't even thought about eating anything after you didn't get home in time. Let me handle it tonight.
If you're sure.
The two adjust their plans, Neve hoping her small tangent will give her enough time to put her thoughts in order. The Earthfoot owner was all too quick in assembling their order, much to Neve's dismay. The two make their leave of the little shop with a bag of rolls containing various savory fillings, light enough for Neve to cradle in her wing despite Mila's offer to carry it instead.
With that all sorted, I believe I owe you an answer.
Mila looks up expectantly, her pace matching Neve's step for step. Without the luxury of time, the courier would do what she always does, go until she feels content to stop. So, she begins.
I didn't know Dandelion's package would be up in the undeliverables. I just wanted to believe it was. I'm sure you heard that answer earlier when I said as much to Rain, though.
Whoops, sorry about that.
We never automatically assume something is an undeliverable. Every single letter or parcel that falls from the tree is given its due diligence, through my department specifically. I remember having marked a couple deliveries as undeliverable some weeks back. When Rain came asking about Dandelion, something clicked. That's all.
Oh.
Her response is like a knife to the Galekind's heart. It wasn't uncomfortable admittance, but one she thought the girl deserved to hear. She had thought to end her explanation there, to preserve even a glimmer of how Mila once perceived her, but the opportunity has long since passed it too by.
Even if my hunch proved correct, I still hadn't the faintest idea of the truth behind everything. Honestly, it's haunting.
Mila keeps her eyes trained on the courier, though Neve averts her own, focused on the path ahead.
It's such an obvious answer with the gift of retrospect, but it never once crossed my mind. Even then, I feel like I was so close that if I dug even just a little deeper...
A sigh.
Droplet handled herself excellently, no matter what Kale may have thought in the moment. And of course, it was a relief to see a smile on your face again when we met on the ground level this evening. It's been at the forefront of my mind all night, though. The thought that you weren't the first I could have helped if I hadn't given up after the typical cursory checks. How many smiles like yours have I robbed from Vitae? I wonder.
Finally listening to herself and realize she likely overstepped, Neve turns her eyes downward to her companion once more. As she does so, Mila dodges her eye contact, returning to Dandy's parcel.
Sorry about that.
The courier leans down, placing the bag gently to the ground to free up her wing. Though hesitant, Mila's eyes eventually meet hers again.
I know today was more than a little scary, and you must be exhausted. All I'm saying is a lot of what happened today is my fault. I'll make sure the postmaster and your mom know as much. So please don't worry about yourself or Rain, okay?
Aw. Man, the thing is, like, you were just doing your part of the job. Like, it's like a team effort, right? Because even if you flagged it as undeliverable and you weren't sure if it had even passed through, like, at that point it goes up to Kale, right? For the second time this evening, Mila takes Neve off guard, responding to assurance by placing her parsley down. Parsley? Ugh. Well, I'm really kind of starting to get out of it. By placing her parcel down and wrapping her little arms around the courier's neck.
I don't want you to get in trouble either.
It's fine, Mila.
Aw.
It's not. Everything with Dandy happened the way it did, but I know you still tried your best. I know you did.
Mila's eyes begin to well with tears is a familiar sight, and One that's caused Neve much grief the last few weeks. In this moment, however, they aren't entirely unwelcome.
Not when you still visit us almost every day. And always shares stories with me. And bring over fruit sometimes for no reason. I just...
I'm sorry, I don't know why, but that sounds like so, like, odd out of context. And she brings over fruit for no reason. It just... I'm sorry, I don't know why that statement seems so funny to me.
I think Rain is the coolest courier ever. But you're still the second coolest. And you'll always be one of my heroes, Miss Neve.
Neve finally makes use of her free wing, wrapping around Mila with a smile.
I'll take second place. Thank you, Mila.
Neve promises to do her best to stay off trouble, and Mila's tears eventually dry. Mila helps her pick up the bag of rolls before retrieving Dandy's package. The two finally head for Mila's home with just a bit more pep in their step. This is cute. I actually really appreciate these like little extra stories they have, because I don't know, it's just like nice having some context for a few things. Like how Kale's like kind of cold, but there's still like a little bit of caring. Or how like Mila like was kind of on the verge of giving up. This is a cute little addition. It's like a little stuff that didn't really need to be included here, but it's sweet that it still was. But we still got one more. And given the title, I have a feeling this might have to do with Kale himself. The villain's concerned. The sun grazes horizon's edge as Neve finally makes her way back inside Mortem Post after another busy day. She turns one corner and then another, storing her hat away in her bag as she does so. She never much liked the requirement to keep it on even in the back rooms of the post, and she's become enough of a repeat offender that her colleagues have given up on trying to get her to conform to office policies. She finds her way to the dining room, the emptiness of the space magnifying the echo of her yawn as she approaches a substantial pile of fruit and grain set aside for tonight's meal. Man, all this Neve art is warming my soul. She scans the stockpile for the most perfect-looking piece of fruit that she can find, not wanting to squander the chance of having first pick.
Evening, Kale.
Neve calls out to the vacant space. For a few moments it goes unanswered, but soon enough Kale makes her presence known, gliding down from a shroud roost from the top of the room. Kale is always taken off guard when Neve senses her presence. In truth, Neve had long since formed a habit of calling her name at random, with Gale simply never being around for the misses.
It's not proper to eat before everyone arrives.
Neve finally takes her pick of a bright green apple, taking hold of it with her elbow and depositing it within her bag.
Just taking something small to go. Between preparing for droplet ceremony tomorrow and deliveries? Phew.
Kale's expression shifts with a furrow of her brow and a deepening of her frown.
On the subject of rain, you and I finally need to have a discussion.
Well? It was a tone Neve recognized, often directed at Rain, but rarely ever at herself. She turns around to meet Kale's stare head-on, encouraging her to continue.
What you did was reckless, irresponsible, a lapse in judgment so severe it beggars belief, to not only reveal to her the undeliverables, but also to encourage her assent?
Her volume rises and her composure falters. Kale's reaction up until now had been unexpected to Neve, but her escalation to shouting certainly was. Kale catches herself a few moments too late, grounding herself once again with a deep breath and a loosening of her posture. When she speaks again, it's considerably quieter and, surprisingly, tinged with the faintest hint of worry.
You put her into incredible danger. The two of them could have gotten severely hurt.
Neve wastes no time in forming a response, lifting her wing up in a weak shrug.
I did no such thing.
This is how fights start, girl. Kale does a better job maintaining herself than before, but the slight lower of her eyebrows as she waits for elaboration doesn't go unnoticed. The anger shifts confusion, however, when Neve meets her grim expression with a smile.
I trusted you to watch over them. You're the best at what you do. You'd catch up long before they got to anything scary.
As she had done so once already today, Neve manages to effortlessly disarm Kale.
Regardless, there were numerous other avenues for you to have verified the parcel without their direct involvement.
Neve brings a wing to her chin, letting a response dance in her mind before finally speaking.
You know, I wasn't planning on letting her know about your department at the start. Once I saw how much she believed Dandelion's package was somewhere in the post, though, well, I guess I bought into it. At least a little. I wanted to have some faith too, but figured even if the worst should come to pass, you'd at least see what she's capable of and maybe even ease up on her a bit.
So you sent her into the Heights, breaking rule after rule, with a chance of leniency after the fact?
It's Neve's turn to steal her expression, her smile flattening.
It was just as much for her as it was for you.
Kale is as much shocked as she's confused by the statement, but hides it well with a slow, deliberate tilt of her head. I
Really
love,
now.
I love like the owl mannerisms that Kale has. Like, maybe it's just because I love owls. Owls are just like such pretty birds.
I know that your duties force you to live in the past. I understand why you do the things you do for the sake of the future, too. If it isn't giving you any time to focus on today, though, I think you deserve to enjoy the day by day as much as anyone else in our office.
Neve turns her sights upwards. In this moment, her view is blocked by the ceiling of the dining room, but both couriers know her intent with the action.
It'd be nice if perfection was some attainable goal, but it won't ever be. Not for us, nor anyone else on this star. But think about this.
Her eyes match Kale's once again. Her smile returned.
Rain and Mila's little romp through the workplace started on the back of a mistake, and it resulted in something wondrous. An idea so obvious in retrospect, but one we never would have considered had things been running normally.
She takes a deep breath, her thoughts finally reaching her intended endpoint.
Look, I'm not saying to neglect things entirely, I just want to assure you it's okay if not everything goes to plan. All we can do is try our best to correct them together as they happen. We may even make greater strides by just taking things as they come. Don't be afraid to live a little. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, I get Kale has like a tough job, but that's no reason to like deny yourself happiness when an opportunity comes up. The heavy on deliverables slacks her shoulders and averts her gaze. An appeal to emotion isn't a strategy many would think to try on Kale. It'd be a futile effort for most. Coming from Neve, however...
Understood.
Well, not quite as explosive a reaction as I was hoping for, but I'll take it all the same.
Neve's smile turns to a grin before a shocked expression quickly replaces it.
Ah, right! I've got a couple more deliveries to get sorted before I retire for the night.
The courier brings her attention to the bag slung over her shoulder. Digging through it as best as she's able, Kale stands bewildered as Neve produces a plain white envelope and presents it to her.
Special delivery from one Mila DeVite to Kale of Mortem Post.
Aw.
Carriers don't receive letters.
Well, that's our little miracle workers for you, breaking all sorts of new ground.
That's sweet. This is enough to make Kale relent, accepting the letter in a way that most would see as sheepish.
What is it?
I couldn't tell you for sure. My best guess would be a thank you letter, though, if the one she had written for me is any indication. On that note, I've got one for Missouri too, so I'm off for now. See you early tomorrow for the big day.
Man, Mila's just such a sweet little child. Maeve makes for the exit, not waiting for Kale to respond. Kale bids her a good night as she leaves all the same. Kale had opened countless letters as the head of the undeliverables, burning each and every one to her memory with intensity and purpose. It's only now, with words of kindness meant only for her, does she take pause. She runs the feather carefully under the flap of the envelope, wishing to preserve it to the best of her ability, and retrieves the letter from within. The call for dinner won't be for some time yet, but she grabs herself a plum from the pile as she begins reading Mila's gratitude and well wishes.
Miss Kale, this is Mila. Thank you for all of your help a few days ago. Rain talked about how scary you were, and I was a little scared too when you talked about her getting in trouble. She came over to visit with Miss Neve yesterday, though, and Mom likes her a lot. I'm glad you didn't stay mad at her, and that's why I know you aren't a scary person. Just very, very tall.
A giant woman.
Thank you also for keeping Dandy's package safe. I know that you were going to open it, but that's just your job. I don't even remember any crinkles in the wrapping paper, though. You took such good care of it. I put her scarf and toy on the shelf above my desk, but I asked Mom to help me cut out a little bit of the wrapping to send you. You don't have to keep it if you don't want, but Dandy's toy reminds me of all of you at the post office, and I thought a piece of wrapping paper would help you remember me too.
God damn it, Mila. I've cried enough today. Stop. Stop being wholesome. Stop it.
It was very nice meeting you. I hope I can visit again soon. Mom also told me to include that all of you are welcome over anytime you want, too. I think it'd be a lot of fun to see everyone again. Mila.
Aw. Man, I really didn't expect the end of that story to kind of like punch me in the gut as much as it did, but this was honestly a lot sweeter than I expected it to be. Like, definitely kind of started off on like a little bit of a sillier note, but that's not always a bad thing. Kind of like ease you into the more emotional parts of the story. But I think that's about all I can really do for Upwards Rain today. I mean, it's like a healthy 2-hour stream. That's like a good average. But yeah, I definitely want to chill. Let's see. Who can I throw y'all at today? Because there actually are a few people live. The person I did have targeted isn't going live, unfortunately, so we're not going to get them. But we got other options. I think I'll throw y'all at Una again. Una's actually playing Date Everything, which, while it's a little bit of a parody, visual novel, it's close enough to the theme of what today's stream was, so I'm just gonna send y'all over to Una. She's currently partner pushing too, so, you know, if you just want to lurk over there, say hi, every little bit helps, you know? But that will definitely be it for me for today. So you have a good day, good morning, whatever time zone you're in, and I'll see y'all when I see ya, okay? Okay. Goodbye.